to our monthly LAER boot camp. This program we've been doing for about 4 years now, and it's typically on the first Friday of every month. It's a 3-hour program, and we dig into tools, training, technology to help you grow your business. I like to start every event off by reminding everybody that this program is open to any real estate agent from any real estate brokerage. You don't have to be part of LAER to get tons of tools and training, technology, marketing pieces. We jam today's program with everything you need to run a successful real estate business, and you will get as much out of today's program, whether you're a LAER agent or an agent at any brokerage across the country. We promise you're going to get just as much great content, marketing pieces, presentations, tools, everything you need to have some true direction for your business. So let's get started with just a little background on LAER. Our brokerage is an independent real estate brokerage. We are 10 years old, and we are super committed to helping real estate agents become the best versions of themselves. And that's any real estate agent. That's why we open up everything we do to any brokerage. We're going to take you over to the LAER toolbox so you can see all of the marketing pieces, stuff like that. And any agent can download and utilize these tools regardless of brokerage. So we started LAER 10 years ago. I always like to give a little history of where we got the name from. When I started the company and I had hired a branding agency, I didn't even know what the name of the brokerage was going to be. I didn't want to have a brokerage named after myself, as I felt like it would hurt the branding of the real estate agents. And so I reached out to this branding agency. I said, I don't even know what to name the company. And they said, what is the goal? And I said, our goal is to help agents become the best versions of themselves. And I said, we're going to do that by growing great talent and attracting great talent into our real estate company. And the branding agency asked, well, what makes great talent in real estate? And I said, the best agents are strong. They are negotiators of difficult terrain, just meaning the best agents are really good at overcoming obstacles. And the best agents are true protectors of their clients. They do not focus first on money. They focus on helping people, and the money just comes as a byproduct of helping a lot of people. So at the time, we put all those words into a Google search: strong, protector, negotiator. And the first thing that popped up was a lion. So we said, that's it. We're going to build our brand around the lions of real estate. In the jungle, lions hang out in lairs. In the real estate world, the lions of real estate are at LAER. We changed the spelling of LAER. Ours is LAER. We changed the spelling of LAER because ours is the mirror image of real, since we're in the real estate business. And then we created the acronym Local Agents Extraordinary Results. So we're now 10 years in. We help about 2,800 families buy and sell real estate a year. Plus, we do another 600 or 700 rentals each year. Our primary market area is New England and Florida, although we have some exciting announcements coming soon as we grow into new territories across the country. So that's just kind of a little background. I always say to our agents, sometimes you see a lion statue in front of a home or in front of a walkway. You'll see 2 lion statues. That's because the lion is a symbol of protection for the home. We look at it that there's a new symbol of protection for real estate across New England and Florida and beyond, and that is the LAER for sale sign. So with that, I want to get started. We're going to dig in really fast because we have so much content to cover. I always say we're going to do our best to be done within before the 3 hours, but typically we use most of the time, and it is literally every minute is jammed with a lot of content. So you will want to have a pen and paper or a place to take notes. And it's really important that you really just focus on, say, 5 things that you're going to go execute on after you leave today's program. I always like to remind people that knowledge is potential energy or potential power. Execution is the power. So since you are committing to your business to spend the time with us today, we want to make sure that you get the most out of it. We want to make sure that you turn this into energy and power for your company and your business. So we want you to go execute after you leave today's program. So in order to execute, take bite-sized chunks. We're going to share with you 30 or 40 things that you could go work on your business after today. Just write down the five things that you're going to do. So have your pen and paper handy. And then once you go execute on those 5, you can always come back and watch our program again. We're here at the same time every month, first Friday of every month. The boot camp changes slightly each month. In fact, we have some really cool technology we're adding in the next 2 weeks. So the next boot camp will be a little bit different than this one, but that's typical. Our boot camps always change a little bit because we change as a company. We add new tools, we change tools, we add new marketing pieces. So this is one of those programs that you'll want to visit regularly throughout the year. Now, we always record. So I'm very excited to always have on the first Friday of each month a group of agents that spend the time with us. I love having agents that join us for the live version because the best part is you can ask questions throughout the program. But if you leave early today or you want to come back and revisit the program down the road, you can go check out our YouTube station. It's youtube.com/LAER, LAER training. youtube.com/LAER training. And you'll see this recording will be live immediately after today's program, so you can go back and review the pieces. Let's say you do your 5 things, you execute on your 5 goals after today, and then tomorrow you want to come back and create 5 more, then you can just come back and watch the program whenever you want to. So what we're looking at right now is the LAER Program and Services Guide. I can see some more people registered just since we started the program. As a reminder, you don't have to be a LAER agent by any means to get everything that we're going to share today, from the marketing pieces to the tools. It is open to every real estate agent. Our goal is to help every real estate agent become the best version of themselves. This is our LAER Program and Services Guide. This is a 40-page booklet that our agents use to keep going in the right direction of their business. So the guide is set up with tools, training, and technology to help agents facilitate utilizing some of the tools that we regularly recommend in the business. By the way, anybody can download this 40-page booklet. You can get a copy of it at laerrealty.com/success tools. So laerrealty.com/success tools. If you head over there, you'll see this booklet as soon as you open the page. If you scroll to the bottom of the page, there's a PDF version of this. So you can download the PDF. You'll see this most recent version is the September 2023 version. Roughly every 6 or 7 months, we update the guide. Like I said, as we add new tools or pieces, we update the guide. So the one that is the most recent version is the September 2023 version. And we're working on some updates. So this will be a new guide over the next 30 to 60 days. So laerrealty.com/success tools, download the guide. If you have a printer handy, it's cool to actually take notes as you watch the program, little things that you can go execute on in your business. So let's just go through quickly the first few pages, and then we're going to dive right into the program. So the first few pages of the booklet are the LAER cultural values. We have 30 values that we think are important to helping agents live their best life possible. And I always say when real estate agents are shopping around brokerages, just make sure that your values align with whatever brokerage you work with. That way you'll know that you're going to be there for a long time. It then just talks about the fact that we are independent real estate company. This is something that we're very proud of. Even though we're small and independent, we do a lot of business. We're consistently ranked with the Real Trends 500 and the Riz Media Power Broker Report. So we are consistently a top 200 real estate company in the country. That's competing against huge companies. And then as far as independence, we're somewhere around the 70th largest independent real estate company in the country, just based on the number of transactions we do. So we think it's cool because it just shows that you can be fairly small and independent and have a massive impact in the marketplace. Now, from here on out, the booklet is divided into 4 sections, and each section is divided so that you can easily find the area that you are most interested in. Now, the way we've ordered everything within the book is based on agents telling us what they care about most when they're working on their business. So the first section is just marketing and branding. And you're going to get a ton of stuff over the next hour or so as we cover marketing and branding. So you'll want to stay tuned. We're going to give you listing presentations, buyer presentations, buyer guides, seller guides, everything you could possibly need to market yourself and brand yourself. The second section of the booklet, so this is all marketing and branding. The second section of the booklet is technology. So we're going to cover some of the best technology that we think can help you grow your business. The third section of the book is training, coaching. Where do you find great content so that you can continue to grow your business? So we have a whole section on training, coaching. And then the final section of the 40 pages is just support, like where best places to get support to continue to grow your business. But let's dig into marketing and branding, because this is usually the favorite section of many of the agents that join us. All right, we are at the first section, which is LAERagentservices.com. Now, this one you'll want to bookmark. By the way, as you're going through this booklet, anytime you see something underlined, that is a hyperlink to more information. So you can click on it, and then it's going to take you right over to whatever section you've clicked on. This is the most robust section of the entire guide. So let's click on it. We're going to go to LAERagentservices.com. Now, this is where LAER agents live all day. This is kind of our home base. It's where agents can get marketing pieces, training, coaching, you name it. Now, at most brokerages, when you go to their agent dashboard, at most brokerages, it's password protected, so that you must be a member of the firm to get access to all the good stuff. We're the opposite. We give you access to all the good stuff, regardless of whether you work here or not. So the cool thing is you'll see there is no password on this system. You don't have to register. You go in and take what you need to grow your business. So this is our agent services dashboard. Couple of things that I want to point out before we give you a tour of this. First of all, right at the top, there's kind of these little links that you'll want to check out. By the way, if you're a LAER agent, there's a little schedule up at the top of which offices have staff during the week. So you can go in and look at the schedule, only because sometimes agents will reach out and say, hey, is there going to be somebody in this office? I have somebody dropping off a signed document or a check or something like that. You can actually click and go look at the schedule for all 40 plus LAER offices. We also have a link at the top to our internal LAER company newsletter. This goes out once a month, and it just lets you know if you're a LAER agent, what's happening internally, who's joined. Plus, we always narrow down like cool things that you should be checking out for your business, like technology, books, movies, stuff like that. So if you're a LAER agent, head over and check out LAER news. All these other pieces just take you down to this section. So as you'll see, since we're in the real estate business and we love visiting real estate and going in and out of little houses, we decided to create our buttons as little houses. So you guys can get to do what you love most, and that's going in and exploring all of the little houses on LAER Agent Services. Right at the very top, if you are a recently joined LAER agent, you will want to head over to the recently joined agent section. Right here is where you get our program and services guide, which is the guide I just showed you, that 40-page booklet. We also have a section of frequently asked questions for agents. And then there's a house with all kinds of marketing pieces and letters and stuff like that, so that you can tell the world that you're in real estate. Then if you scroll down, whoops, I just clicked on one of the houses by accident. Then if you scroll down, as new agents join our brokerage, we add now about 20 to 25 agents a month joining the brokerage. And as they join, we give you a little bit of information about the person, little bio, so you can get to know them. And then let's head down to the fun stuff: marketing, branding, and presentations. We're going to spend the next hour here because there's just so much content that it's hard not to spend a great deal of time here. The most clicked on button on this site is this one right here, which is guides, presentations, brochures. It is becoming so robust that we're trying to figure out ways that we can better organize this. One of the things we should point out is that everything at LAER, all of our marketing pieces are built on Canva. So I just want to talk about Canva for a few minutes in case you're not familiar with it. Most of you are very familiar with Canva. Many real estate agents use it in their business. Canva is a marketing platform. It's where anybody can go in and create brochures and social media pieces and presentations, and you name it. If it's a marketing or a branding piece, you can create it on Canva. Now, there's two different versions of Canva. There's a free version and a paid version. The paid version is around $15 per month. You do get a discount for paying for the whole year up front. My personal view on it is no brainer. I think you should have the paid version. That's my personal take on it. We're in the marketing and branding business. So if there's a tool that we're going to be using every single day for the most part to help us market and brand ourselves, I think you should own it, especially if it's only $15 a month. But some agents say, you know what, I need to keep my costs down. I need the free version of Canva. So I'll talk about the difference between the paid and the free version of Canva, but just for a moment, I want to talk about the way marketing used to happen. So many years ago, all of our marketing was built off of Adobe. So if we wanted to have nice listing brochures or nice presentations, for the most part, it was Adobe or maybe Microsoft Publisher. Adobe, you had to take classes. Like people were taking college courses to learn how to use Adobe. It is not for a layman. Microsoft Publisher was a little bit easier to use, but not much. Then came Canva. So in the old days, when we were doing all of our marketing pieces, really our team would have to do all the customization. So if our team created a listing presentation, if the agent wanted to add their photo or their bio or delete a page or add a page, they had to go through our marketing team to do that because it was too complicated for the agent to be able to go in and make their own changes on stuff. That's why Canva changed everything. Canva made it so simple that number one, an agent can go in and create their own pieces super fast, very easy to do. Now, that doesn't mean we want you out there having to recreate the wheel on wonderful listing presentations and wonderful buyer presentations and expired listing packages, you name it. Your time is valuable. We want you out selling real estate. But what's cool about Canva is our team can create all these wonderful, magical, like business changing pieces. And you simply go over and click on one and you can now customize it. So we could do the bulk of the work, building these guides and presentations. We do the bulk of it. And then when you click on it, it's what we call a Canva template. So the template now opens up in your Canva. And once it's in your Canva, you own it. It's no longer, we still have our version of it. So you don't affect our version. But as soon as you open it up in yours, you can make changes. You can add your photos. You can take out pages of it. You can put your logo in, you name it. You can make all of the changes and it's now just your version. So it does not affect in any way the version that we originally put out there. So let's take a look at some of the pieces, and then I'm going to talk a little bit more about why the paid version, the $15 per month version of Canva versus the free version of Canva. So if you go into, we're still under marketing. I'm going to just go back so you guys can see where I went. We're under marketing, branding, and presentations. If you go to guides, presentations, and brochures, this is where you're going to find tons of pieces. So you can scroll down. We have listing presentations, buyer presentations, buyer guides, seller guides, scripts. I'll go through some of my favorite pieces in here. But any of these you can just simply open and start customizing to your own business. You add your photo, your contact information, anything you want to add or delete or change, you can do. But we'll go into some of these and then we'll talk about what the paid version of Canva looks like versus the free version. So first, I do want to point out that some of these pieces vary slightly. So for example, you'll see here we have a buyer guide for Florida and a buyer's guide for New England. And that is only because the way we do business in those two marketplaces is slightly different. So in New England, we do a lot of buyer representation. In Florida, we do mainly transaction brokerage. So that's why you'll see the wording is slightly different in the Florida buyer's guide versus the New England buyer's guide. Just little nuances for you to be aware of. And maybe you're in a completely different state. It doesn't matter. You just want to go through, especially, I'd say mostly just on the buyer's guides, and just make sure that you're not over promising something. So for example, in Florida, we don't represent buyers. We do buyer agencies. So we get a buyer agency form signed, but it's not representation like it is in New England. So the wording is slightly different between the states. But let's take a look at a sample buyer's guide. This one is just the New England buyer's guide. And when you open it, it says use template for a new design. It opens in a template. So this is what it will look like when it opens to you. And you'll see we leave placeholders so that you have to go in and add some information about you, because the idea is like this one is an 18-page book. This particular one matches. We have a buyer presentation that goes with us. This is really important because especially with the new rules and that are coming out with LAER. In the old days, every agent had a listing presentation. I mean, that's just common knowledge that you have a listing presentation, but not most agents did not have a buyer presentation, meaning that if somebody calls you and they want to go look at a property, you should be inviting them into the office or inviting them to a coffee shop and doing a buyer presentation to show your value to get a buyer agency agreement signed. This guide matches our buyer presentation, which I'll show you guys in a second. So we've done all the heavy lifting for you. Instead of you having to spend 6 hours making a buyer's guide or 6 hours making a buyer presentation, we've created all of it for you. And you just go in and add your name, your office address, your contact information. You'll want to add your about me section. You can add more, and you can also delete stuff if there's stuff that you don't like. But basically here we talk about the 10 steps to buying a home. Again, this matches the actual presentation because we have a separate one that is like PowerPoint presentation. It's in Canva, but it's like a presentation landscape version. So this is the 10 steps to buying a home. And then this is like the handout that you would give after you go through the presentation with someone. So you guys can go in and change as much of this as you want, but I will tell you, you're going to want to change very, very little. We've put a great deal of time and effort into perfecting this beautiful presentation that there's no reason for you to have to do a great deal of change to it. Basically, on this particular document, you would want to change page like 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to just do this in a presentation so you can see it a little bit, just a little bit clearer. So you guys can go in. Yes, if you're not a LAER agent, you can change out logos. You can change color schemes. So you can change if you don't like the blue and you want red or whatever you want, you can change the color schemes. But most importantly, like all the good stuff that our team wrote is here. So you don't have to do any heavy lifting at all. By the way, we are realtors, so I guess that's one thing you would have to change. If you're watching this and you're not a realtor, then you'd have to go in and change some of the wording around being a realtor. But that's why it's important to read any of the stuff that we put out just to make sure it fits with whatever you're doing for your own business. But all of this you can change. Now, let's talk for a second about the free version of Canva. So one of the big things that is different between the free version of Canva versus the paid version of Canva is that the paid version, the $15 per month version of Canva, comes with millions and millions of stock images. A stock image is like this image right here on the front page with of this beautiful kitchen area. Stock images could be like landscape pictures. It could be beautiful houses. It could be a living room. And because we're in the marketing business, I believe it's important for you to have access to all kinds of stock images so that your branding pieces look beautiful. Now, if you have the free version of Canva, you will get some stock images. They give you some, it's just not millions and millions and millions of them. So what happens if, so most of our content, by the way, is done using the paid version of Canva. For example, this is probably an image that is only available for paid Canva users. So what happens if you log in and create your free Canva account and then you open our template? So what happens, you've got free version of Canva, you click on our open the buyer's guide, and what happens? What will happen is as you go through the guide, there are going to be photos within the guide that have a big X across them, like a watermark from Canva that says, hey, you can use this whole thing because LAER did all of the work. You can use this whole booklet, but you will have to go in and change out some photos. So if you're on the free version of Canva, you will have to go through each of the documents that we share today, the listing presentations, buyer presentations. You'll have to open up each one and go through and just see which photos have a big X across it. By the way, if you upgrade to the paid version of Canva to the $15 a month version, then the X's go away. You won't have to change out anything. But other than that, and I'd say on average, there's probably 4 or 5 premium Canva images in each piece. So on average, it would probably take you 5 minutes or so to go through each of the documents and change out the photos on the ones that have the Canva watermark across it. By the way, the system won't, sometimes we'll get an email into our happy agent system and an agent will say, I customized the buyer guide and it won't let me save it as a PDF. That's the cool thing about Canva is you can save everything in whatever format you want. So up at the top here, once you're done with your buyer's guide, you're going to click share and then you're going to download it. And then it's going to say, what type of file do you want to download it as? This is a book. This is an 18-page book. So I would choose a PDF, either PDF standard or PDF print, so that it turns the whole thing into an 18-page PDF that I can now print and give to a customer. So I have had agents email into our happy agent team and say, hey, I can't download it. It won't let me turn this into a PDF. Always the answer we give to the agent is somewhere in that guide, you still have a Canva premium photo. So if you can't download, it is because you're on a free version of Canva and somewhere in the booklet is still a premium version photo. So we always say, go back through the document and just look carefully because it could be like the little teeny photo that you can barely see. One of those photos will have the Canva watermark on it. You just got to delete it and then add your own photo, and then you can go back and download the whole thing. So that's the big reason for having the paid version of Canva. There's other reasons, by the way, as well. We'll cover that a little bit more when Sergio does his presentation. One of the big reasons to do the paid version of Canva is you can also schedule out your posts. So a lot of agents use Canva for creating nice social media pieces. At LAER, we create all the social media pieces for you. But what's cool is if you have the paid version of Canva, then you can actually schedule your posts right while you can go in and make your piece or upgrade a piece that we've created for you, and then you can share right to social media. So it's got, you can even schedule it out. So let's say you make a piece for Mother's Day, a little image to say, hey, happy Mother's Day. You can go in through your Canva account and then schedule it. So on Mother's Day morning, the social media piece shares to your social media. So that's just another cool reason why to have Canva. Trust me, when it comes to spending money for real estate agents, I never spend your money easily. Like, I always will figure out a way if there's a way that money can be saved. So this is just one of those products that I feel like you should have the upgraded version, because that is the business we're in. We are in the marketing and branding business, and it's essential that our pieces just look beautiful. So let's go back. That's just one. That's the buyer's guide. This one's 18 pages and it's all yours. So that guide alone, if you were to go buy that somewhere, I think you'd pay $500 easily to have somebody go create something as good as that. We also have, just like the buyer's guide, we also have a guide to selling your home. So same thing, we have a Florida version, you'll notice, and then a regular version, only because Florida, we do more transaction brokerage. It's not like actual fiduciary representation. That is more common in most of the other states we do business in. Let's take a look at the seller guide. As you scroll down, you'll see we have other versions of stuff as well. This is a 14-page guide for sellers. And again, all customizable. You will probably want to change the first couple of pages of this just to update with your logo, your picture, your bio, phone number, website. And then we have like a little table of contents here. So just a pretty little booklet to include in your seller package. So after you do a listing presentation, this is like a nice little printable guide that you would include for your seller. We also have listing presentations. So let's take a look at a listing presentation. So this is like a presentation style that, like, if you were at a seller's house and you brought your computer or your tablet or iPad and you wanted to go through all the reasons why somebody should list with you. And this is kind of long. I forget how many pages it is, but I think it's around 40. Oh no, it's 38. So it's 38 pages. For some agents, that's a lot. So we definitely have agents that go in and pare this down a little bit and take some of it out. We try to throw everything in there. So you'll want to customize with your name and contact information, and then go through and customize and make it your own. I won't go through all the pieces of it because it's kind of, it's a little bit long, but it talks about why working with a realtor. There's some other cool stuff in here. This I love. This is all the things the average real estate agent does on each new listing. So it's just kind of like setting the stage for talking about your compensation. So you'll see it's many pages of stuff, and basically total minutes worked on an average non-distressed listing is about 4,200 minutes. And how much does your attorney, doctor, mechanic, or plumber charge per hour? My marketing fee stays the same no matter how much time, effort, or marketing dollars I put into reaching our goal. And let's see. So then it talks about other stuff at our company. The agents get their sign and calls on their own listings. And We control the destiny of the listing. We talk a lot about our marketing team, only because that's one of our unique value propositions, is that we have phenomenal marketing for our agents. If you're going to do professional photography, we talk about syndicating the listings, social media marketing. We love Real Scout, so we talk a lot about the Real Scout app, experts in green living, LAER University. So we kind of put in, then we have a whole section on the psychology of pricing a property. So I'll spare you guys all the details on this. You can go through it as you have some time, but you can basically customize 100% of this. You can change colors, add logos, delete logos, etc.
Can I just jump in here, Stacey?
Yes.
One of the things that I think is important and powerful with these listing and buyer presentations, the buyer presentations in particular, is even if you're uncomfortable using decks, talking to people, just getting in there and using this to trigger your own, conversations with people, and being fluent with buyer agency right now is so important. So even if you're never doing a presentation, but going through them and getting kind of the language and the sequence in your head is really important right now as we move into this next phase of agency.
100%. By the way, I think you make a really good point, Craig, because one of the things that we say when we do our training on Algorwin, which is a growth system, we'll show you guys in a little bit. In that training program, we talk about the importance of a buyer presentation and a listing presentation. And the reason for it is because there's a wonderful book out there. It's called The Checklist Manifesto by Atul Gawande. And the Checklist Manifesto is about, in every industry, especially like the whole book starts around the hospital industry, because Atul Gawande is like a famous surgeon based out of Boston. And he said that he was doing a study on the significant number of people who die of infections who go to hospitals, and they shouldn't die of an infection. Like, they're not dying of what they went in for surgery for, they're dying of these other infections. And he was super fascinated, like, why is that happen? Why is there a preponderance of people dying for reasons they shouldn't die when they go to a hospital? And they did like this nationwide study, and it came down to people washing their hands. And what was interesting is there was no simple checklist for people to go through when you are doing a surgical rotation, because that simple checklist would save millions of lives. And so they created, like, this whole new checklist system was created for hospitals based on this study and this research. But he also goes on to study other industries. For example, when you are taking off in a plane, the real job of the pilot is to just go through a checklist of things that has to happen, a sequence of events that must happen before the plane takes off. And then as the plane is getting to land, the job of the pilot again is to go through a checklist, a sequence of things that must happen. So this is why the listing presentations and buyer presentations are so important, because they are your checklist. They are your sequence of things to cover. So what's cool about it, one of the stories I like to share is this happened many years ago. We have a phenomenal agent in Billerica, and she called me one day. She's a top agent. She typically every year she'll do 10 or 15 million dollars in sales volume. And she called me one day. She she owns the Billerica market, one of the best agents in that marketplace. And she called me and not only does she do really well, but she literally, if there's an agent in our company that literally volunteers 40 hours a week of her time to charitable matters, it is her. She is constantly um, like driving dogs around to foster homes. On the weekends, she gives all of her time. Saturdays and Sundays, she volunteers at a wildlife refuge. She does cancer walks. She is has dedicated her life just to giving back. So one day she called me and she was like so upset because she lost a listing to a competitor. And she's like, what should I do? I said, well, you can call the person and just ask, what could I have done better? Why did you hire the other place? And I said, don't say anything bad about the other company or anything like that, but you could just ask what you could have done better. So she did that. And they said, oh, the only reason we selected the other company is because they're so engaged in philanthropy. And philanthropy is super important to us because we've had so much go on in our lives, and philanthropy is so important. So she's like, how could I have lost? She's like, I give my whole life to philanthropy. And I said, did you talk about it in the presentation? And she's like, no. So I'm like, that's something that should be in your listing presentation. Just like a checklist. Like, hey, by the way, oh, here's all the stuff I do. You don't have to make a big deal about it. But all those items in that listing presentation or buyer presentation are give you don't know what is important to the person on the other side of the table. Maybe it's sustainability, Craig, and maybe the agent isn't green designated and doesn't normally even talk about it, but now you've got it as a slide in your presentation that at least it's something that you've touched on. And so it can open up a dialogue around something that the consumer cares about. But that's why these presentations are so important. I think that if you're a real estate agent who does not have a buyer presentation, does not have a seller presentation, or does not have both, those two things will be absolute game changers to your business because they are your checklist manifesto. They are the things that you make sure to talk about, and you could just go through it quickly and then leave the booklet with the person so that they can go further explore on their own. It makes you foolproof. So these ones we are very proud of. You guys are going to get to hear from Craig in a little bit. Craig is our Chief Sustainability Officer. He travels the country. We're super lucky to have him because he's kind of the guru around sustainability in real estate, which used to kind of be a niche thing, but now it is has to become part of your business. Well, together with Craig and our sustainability committee, we created this year a buyer presentation and a high performance home listing presentation for agents that are very much focused on buyers and sellers who care about sustainability, which is a very high percentage of buyers and sellers if you ask them. We have some great scripts in here. Listing and buyer scripts, especially right now. One of these scripts came in very handy recently for one of our agents in Florida who the listing agent was not offering a buyer agent fee. And then he wrote up an offer asking for the seller to pay the buyer agent. The seller said no. So we went through these scripts and he revisited, and he had to basically educate the real estate agent on the other side so that that agent could then educate his seller. He ended up getting the buyer agent fee paid by the seller, but there's some great scripts in here that can help you articulate both for buyers and sellers and the real estate agents who we're doing business with, who we have to educate so that we can get our offers put together. I do want to point out as well, there's some really cool stuff in some of these. This is another buyer presentation. So you'll see we have a few different versions of all of the stuff that we have on here. This is also the 10-step buying process presentation. One of the things that you'll see in a lot of our guides or brochures or booklets is we strongly urge, when we do our training programs with real estate agents, we strongly urge that whether it's a listing presentation or a buyer presentation, that agents are having a conversation with the buyer or seller about Zillow. As a buyer agent, if you are not talking about Zillow with your customer, then you're going to lose 1 or 2 transactions a year. So that's a lot of money. So tens of thousands of dollars each year that you're just gonna, it's gonna walk out the door to Zillow, because that's where clients are going to look at real estate. So as for buyers, we have to educate our buyers as part of our presentation to say, hey, by the way, I'm going to set you up on a system so that you could search real estate. One of the things buyers often do is they think that the best place to search for real estate is on Zillow. Let me tell you a little bit about Zillow and why it's not the best place to look for real estate. Number one, the search is not real time. So for example, we've had many buyers that go on to Zillow to search for real estate. They fall in love with the home of their dreams, only to find out that went under agreement a week ago with another buyer. And because the Zillow system does not update real time, buyers are searching for real estate and finding real estate that is not actually for sale. Number two, if you have never done this, and many real estate agents have not, you should go on to Zillow as if you were a buyer just to go check it out. It's not the best search experience. In most markets, you can only change your searches within a $50,000 increment. So that's a pretty large number. So you can't narrow down to like the closest $10,000. It's only $50,000 increments. Not only that, you can't narrow down your search. So let's just say you only want ranch houses, or you only want waterfront homes. It's super difficult to do a super narrow search. Also, what you can't do with Zillow is many buyers want a particular school district. So they'll say, I want a home, but I need to make sure I'm in the Pineville school district. There are lots of places where a buyer can go do a search and get only houses within that search district. And we're going to show you one of the places you can do that in a little while. But you can't do it on Zillow because, by the way, does Zillow care if the person actually finds a house? Absolutely not, because their revenue is coming from selling the lead to real estate agents or mortgage. It's actually both. They sell the lead to real estate people and mortgage people. Also, many buyers think they're contacting the listing agent when they reach out on Zillow, which they are not. We all know estimates are super inaccurate. And then the biggest reason why the consumer should not go on to Zillow is they're going to get inundated by sales calls. So just really important to have those conversations with the client. And that's why we embed these conversations part of the checklist. So just one more thing, a checklist so we can make sure our client is not going to head over to Zillow and have a conversation, end up in a conversation with another real estate agent. Let's take a look at a few others. Next up, we have, there's these really cute, these are just flyers. We have a buyer flyer and a seller flyer. It looks like a Monopoly board, and it just shows the buying process. One is for buyers, one is for sellers. It shows you the whole process set up as a Monopoly board. Super cute. We have a final walkthrough checklist. Some other things. Oh, the trusted vendor list. So we cover this in a lot of our training classes about how to build a massive network of people who refer you business by utilizing your trusted vendor program. So you need to have your own trusted vendor list that you begin building. We've created a template for that for you. Locals guide. This is super cool. This is like just a 2-page newsletter, and it covers, like, you would put the top 10 places to a locals guide, top 10 places to explore in, say, Delray Beach. And then you would pick like a farmer's market, a flower shop, a best breakfast place. So this is meant to be customized by you. What's cool about this, these are great for open houses. So you're doing your open house in Delray Beach, and you've got your 2-page booklet, a locals guide of all the best places to visit in Delray Beach. But these are also cool because this gives you 10 places to also market your business. So, for example, you put your favorite dessert shop in there. You then bring a little stack of these over to the dessert shop and say, hey, I featured you in my locals guide. Could I leave some of these here for your customers? Let's see. Oh, we have another version of like buyer and seller guides. This one here is an expired listing package. So if you're going after expired listings, we also have a LAER guide to real estate investing. If you guys are LAER agents, we have a 4-page LAER brochure. There's also a 20-point marketing plan. So as you guys can see, there is tons and tons and tons of content on here to customize. Now, before we keep exploring, a couple things I want to point out. We said at the beginning of today's program that you will want to write down 5 things that you're going to go execute on after you leave today's program. If you do not have a buyer presentation, that's number 1. That should be the number 1 thing on your list, is to go make your buyer presentation. Number 2, if you do not have a listing presentation, that should be number 2 on your list. That's your checklist. So go build your listing presentation. By the way, this is no heavy lifting because we've done all the work for you. So, I mean, even if you do a massive revamp, that's 30 minutes of work. That's if you're changing all the colors, updating it with your content, taking out pages, adding pages, then maybe it takes you 30 minutes. For most of you, it's going to take five minutes to add your photo, your contact information, your logo, your bio. So buyer presentation, listing presentation. I also think that you should have a buyer package, a seller package, and an investor package. These are packages. Let's just say you go to Starbucks today, you overhear somebody next to you is thinking about buying a home, that you could run out to your car, quickly grab one of your packages, bring it back into Starbucks and say, hey, my name is Stacey Alcorn. I overheard that you're thinking about buying a house. I've put together just this package of resources, great materials that will help you on your journey. And I've also included my business card so that if you decide that you would like strong representation when buying, I would love to be that resource for you. That buyer got everything you need for a buyer package, a seller package, and an investor package is already within this little house here. So you'll make a buyer guide, maybe the monopoly board piece that talks about the buying process, your vendor list, your trusted vendor list, a locals guide. You just go through and pick out a few things that you would put in a folder and then make like 10 of those folders. 10 buyer folders, 10 seller folders, 10 investor folders. So everything you need is there. The 3 things again that I would go execute on if you don't have these is your buyer presentation, number 1, your seller presentation, number 2, and then your buyer, seller, and investor packages, number 3. Next button over here, we have NAR settlement toolbox. So these are tools as new tools come out. So on here, for example, you'll find all the stuff that you regularly see. So for example, National Association of Realtors has a website with tools as well. You'll find a link on here. But also anytime we see a piece that really articulates well for buyers or sellers or both the importance of having a buyer agent, or also tools that talk to sellers about the importance of offering a buyer agent fee. Anytime we see a great piece, we then go in and turn it into a format that you can customize and print. So for example, this one from the lighter side of real estate, they wrote a great article that really articulated everything well. So we turn that into like a printable Canva that at the end, there's a spot that you could put your picture and contact information. There was also a great article in the Herald Tribune called Beyond the Mist. We put that into a Canva format as well. So this one's like just a 3-page guide, and there's a little place at the back where you could put your photo and contact information. This one, our in-house title company, Coast to Coast Closings, created a wonderful 4-page white paper about why home buyers need buyer agents. And then this covers everything. The 3 common pitfalls when home buyers work directly with a listing agent. So we discourage people from going with a listing agent. Can an attorney replace a buyer's agent? No. And all the reasons why that. The other piece that I like about this piece is it really hones in on the fact that there's a lot of lawsuits out there. And when it's interesting because let's just say a buyer buys a property, and after they get into the property, they find out whatever, the property has mold or something. One of the things that a buyer agent does is we keep all the correspondence and communication and documentation so that if there's a lawsuit afterwards, that we become a resource for the agent, for the customer to say, hey, here's everything we have on this. Here's the seller disclosure. Here's what the seller said in writing. Here's the inspection, everything. Well, what happens when the buyer moves into the property, there's mold, and their real estate agent was a seller agent? Who is then going to help that buyer like gather all the communication and stuff like that? So it's just something to think about. It's that one little extra thing, one additional reason why a buyer should have their own representation. So let's see. Anyways, there's tons of stuff in Mass. We did a great training program with Catherine Taylor from the legal department of the Mass Association of Realtors, describing everything. But there's just tons of resources in here. And then you'll find more links to our buyer presentations, etc. But also we put like the buyer agent agreements for all the states that we do business in. So it's just like a nice place where you can go. We keep adding to it as more information comes, but it's a wonderful place, just a one-stop resource for NAR settlement resources. The next button is our weekly social media assistant. I'll have Sergio cover this shortly. If you're a LAER agent, every week you get all of your social media created for you. It's all done for you. We email it and text it to you on Mondays, but also if you want to go back and review older content for social media, you can go here. If you're a LAER agent and you need special marketing requests, we do all your marketing for you, but sometimes you might go to our page and you don't see exactly what you need. You can just request a marketing piece here. All day long, our marketing team is creating marketing pieces for agents. Maybe you have an advertisement going into the newspaper, or we have agents that sponsor like little leagues and they're in the booklet. It can be literally anything. Head on over to our request or custom marketing request section. Next is our open house resources. Tons of stuff in here for doing open houses. We have sign-in sheets, welcome signs, interior signs to put throughout the house, feedback surveys. If you like to give out a little gift at your open houses, we have little pop-by tags for microwave popcorn that say, hey, thanks for popping in. We have kids activity sheets for your open houses. So all kinds of cool stuff. If you're a LAER agent and you have a lot of listings and you need somebody to cover your open house, you just go to this need open house coverage link and you fill this out. You say, this is where the house is located. I need somebody to cover my open house Saturday. And then you pick which LAER offices you want to notify of the open house coverage. That email goes out to the agents within the office. There's never a time that an agent needs open house coverage and can't find somebody to do it. We have so many agents that want open houses. Also, if you're a LAER agent and you're doing a broker open house, there's a button here for that. We want to notify all the agents at the local offices close to where the open house is being held because we want them to go support your open house. So you're going to do the broker open house notification button. We've also been building out this section of commercial resources. Over the last 18 months to 24 months, the industry in general has had a significant decrease in the number of transactions, mostly fueled by the fact that many homeowners are tied to their house because of a very low interest rate. So they're in a house with a 2.5% rate. If they move now, they're going to be at a significantly higher interest rate. So we do try to find new ways to help our agents develop other niches of business. One of those is commercial real estate. So under the commercial real estate section, you're going to find tons of resources, commercial listing guides and presentations, commercial valuation models, offering memorandums, etc., as well as all of our LAER commercial marketing pieces are in there as well. Okay. Signs, apparel, and print marketing. This is an important one. I'm going to cover a couple things. First of all, right at the top, if you're a LAER agent and you need LAER signs, these are all the companies. These will all take you right to a page that has LAER designs for sale and open house and directional signs. Second is business cards, name tags, all that stuff you can get at Markful. So when you go over to this page, you just select the your LAER office, or if you're on a team, we have all the teams in there as well, and they can help you. They give you like pre-designed pieces. We also have all these companies for apparel. And then down at the bottom, there's some really cool resources here for print marketing that are important. These are going to, for many of you, be one of the top 5 things that you go and execute on. Number 1, MLS mailings. By the way, I like to remind everybody, I'm not getting paid anything from any of these companies to promote it. I don't get paid anything from Canva to promote buying Canva. When I tell agents that something is a really good product, it's because I know it works. From working with our 800 real estate agents, I get to talk to agents all day, every day. So I know what works for agents and what does not work. These are some print marketing tools that really work for agents. Number 1 is MLS mailings. So the reason why I love MLS mailings is I believe there's great opportunity in print marketing still, especially when you have something to say. So the cool thing about MLS mailings is they're just listed, just sold postcards. And what's great about it is it hooks directly to your MLS. So you set it up once. It's called the set it and forget it system. You set it up once, and then you never have to think about whether your just listed and just sold postcards are going out on your listings. So the first time you set up, you upload your photo, your contact information, your logo, and then you tell the system, hey, every time I list a house, I want 200 postcards to go to all the neighbors. Here's the pricing for it. So it's around $1, say 92 cents to $1.24 per mailing, which includes everything. You set it up. Let's just say you want 200 cards to go out every time you list or sell a house. So you set it up, you say, every time a house is listed, I want 200 neighbors to get a postcard. And then every time a house sells, I want all the neighbors to get 200 postcards. You then set up your link to MLS. So it has you pick which MLS you're in, what your MLS ID number is. And then every time it's just going to automatically send your postcards. So you don't even have to think about it. Anytime you can find a set it and forget it system for your business, you got to sign up, because eventually you get to a point where the only possible way to scale your business is with set it and forget it systems. There's only so much business that one agent can do until you just can't do anymore. So that's why you want to maximize the amount of business that you will be able to do. And the number one way to do that is to have set it and forget it system. So MLS mailings is one of those set it and forget systems. I think this should be on your top 5 things to set up. So if you don't already have a system for just listed, just sold postcards, this is one of the top 5. Second, personal marketing company is another one. This is just from speaking to agents that have had tremendous success from this company. I just want to show you. I always pick the wrong one, but I think it's automated. Let's just see if this is it. Yes, this is it. So they have all kinds of stuff that you can do at the Personal Marketing Co. So it's TPMCO is the name of the company. And this is a really cool product. This particular one, and they have other cool products too, but this is my favorite, is that they have a program that for $48, a one-time charge of $48, they will stay in touch with your client for 5 years with mailers. The mailers change. So some of them are going to look like a magazine. Some of them are going to look like a postcard. Some of them are going to be a letter, but each piece is branded from you. It's got your picture, your logo, your contact information. I believe you should do these for every time you have a closing. So as soon as you close on a transaction, you put them into your TPMCO, $48 client follow-up program. This way, one of the things that National Association of Realtors says as statistic is that most real estate agents do not stay in touch with the client after they've closed. That's why most real estate agents don't end up using the same real estate agent the second time around, usually because the first real estate agent did not stay in touch. Because when a deal closes, we're so focused on going and getting another deal, we forget to set up a system for staying in touch with the person that just trusted us with their business. So here for $48, you have them in a system that they're going to keep getting mailers from you, makes it much harder for you to be forgotten. So this is another one that I would add to the top 5 things to execute on, is setting up a system every time you have a closing, putting each person into the TPMCO program. The next one is Wise Pelican. Wise Pelican is also a mailing company. Specifically, what I love about this mailing company is they have they're very good with the call to action. So one place where agents sometimes miss out on in their marketing efforts is having a call to action. Like we send postcards, but the postcard doesn't really tell them what to do. So the Wise Pelican incorporates a call to action. In other words, they have like a little landing site for a free market analysis where the consumer basically scans a QR code and it will do it's a lead capture. So it sends you the information so that you can reach out and do a market analysis. So if you're going to do mailings, like just bulk neighborhood mailings or farm mailings, I prefer TPMCO. I'm sorry, Wise Pelican, only because Wise Pelican will incorporate the call to action. Down here, we also have a couple others. Yellow Letters Complete is wonderful if you're doing any like handwritten mailers. So let's just say once a year you want to send out a handwritten holiday card or note card. You could do that through Yellow Letters Complete. They have two versions. They'll actually handwrite all of your cards for you, but also they have like an AI version, like where AI will go in and handwrite. But either one, they'll either have a human handwrite your cards for you or AI do it as well. Yellow Letters, we have a lot of our foreclosure and short sale agents that use Yellow Letters Complete because they have what's called a yellow letter campaign, where you can just do like a handwritten letter on a yellow piece of paper to get the attention of a potential homeowner. So those are some of the cool marketing platforms or print marketing platforms to check out. Also, monthly newsletters. So as an agent, it's a good idea to have a monthly newsletter. There's two different types of monthly newsletters to have. One is an email newsletter and one is a like a print newsletter that you can mail out to people or give out at open houses. This one here is the print version of the newsletter. So if you go on here, we updated, our marketing team creates a new one every single month, but you go to the Canva template and this is called the Roar Report, but you can change it any which way you would like. It's always a 4-page report and you can go in and change out whatever you want on here. We put these big red circles so you know what you have to update. But what's cool about the Roar Report is that one of the things that we go over in our training programs is building a massive sphere of influence using vendors. Here, so we say go out once a week or even once a month and meet a new vendor in your marketplace and interview them about their business, so that you develop a one-on-one relationship with that vendor. But where do you put the interview? This is where you put it in this Roar Report. So just a customizable newsletter changed every single month. If you're a LAER agent, we have all kinds of LAER logos and images under this section. Also seasonal pop-by tags. Many of you guys get out monthly to visit acquaintances, past customers, friends, family, and you like to make sure that when you go visit, that you never go empty-handed. So we've created pop-by tags for every season. So for example, we'll just pick lemonade. Say you wanted to bring just some lemonade over to somebody's house. These are pop-by tags, so you can print them out. You can print them on Avery extra large labels and stick them right onto the lemonade, or you could just print them on paper and tie them on with a tag. But we have them for every season, all different ideas from like lifesavers to s'mores to seeds to popcorn, all kinds of different little gift ideas where we've created the cool little tag to go with it. Let's see. So that was the whole marketing, branding, and presentation section. We have a whole section on agent growth and development, agent toolbox, and I think what we'll do next is I'm going to invite Craig Foley to talk to you guys for a few minutes. As I mentioned, he's our Chief Sustainability Officer, and I want to point out that under the LAER Agent Services, under Agent Toolbox, we have this whole sustainability section. So he's going to give you guys a little presentation, but just so you know, a lot of the stuff he's going to cover, you can come back and get to those links and pieces right from our LAER Agent Services. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Craig.
Thanks, Stacey. I'm going to throw into the chat the upcoming National Association of Realtors Sustainability Summit. It's coming up in June 4th and 5th in Minneapolis. Great area of the country if you've never been there before. Every year since, I don't know, 2014, I think, we've had a NAR Sustainability Summit for National Association of Realtors, which is where the national conversation is happening. This intersection of real estate and sustainability has definitely become part of the culture of our mothership of National Association of Realtors, and this is where the conversation really happens. It used to be an invite-only thing. Now it's open to realtors from across the country that are engaged in this topic. But one of the cool things in there, you'll see that Stacey's one of the speakers, I'm one of the speakers, talking about what we're doing at LAER, because we really have become kind of a national leader in this space that a lot of folks are connecting to right now. I'm going to bump you off, Stacey, and bring up my boot camp screen here. Just talk a little bit specifically about what we've been doing as a team for the last 5 years. And it's really about rethinking our engagement with our employees, our customers, our community, because this stuff is mattering. You're going to see some of the, to the public, you're going to see some of the numbers behind this shortly. I've been at this for a long time and really proud to see how much engagement our leadership team at National Association of Realtors is connecting to this. You can see this year I'm serving on the NAR Executive Committee, which is more than I signed up for. Everybody on that committee, I am sure, feels the same way. We have a first row seat to see everything going down with the settlement issues. It's been crazy, the number of emergency meetings that have come out of that. But the reason that I'm on the executive committee this year is that there was a governance shift to make our governance at National Association of Realtors be a little bit more streamlined. So the executive committee now is where a lot of the decisions make, because if you're involved with NAR at the national level, we have over 1,000 directors, board of directors, and it just wasn't streamlined and quick. So a lot of the decision making is now happening at the exec level under this new governance change. And included in that governance change is the fact that we have 12 subject matter experts that are now on the executive committee. One of them is a sustainability position, which I'm serving this year at. It's the first time it's being done, so I'm really honored to have to be participating on exec and working with our leadership team as we move through everything that's changing in the industry. There's been a lot, obviously. So some of the numbers that are out there that you may not be aware of, the importance of engagement on this topic with consumers. This is from the Shelton Group, which is a very well-known firm in Tennessee that works with marketing teams of major companies, S&P 500 companies, to engage their customers, their employees on sustainability and the best ways to be able to message what the company is doing, particularly to consumers. And 74% of consumers are making purchasing decisions based on a company's environmental reputation. 74%. And very few real estate firms still in the United States, although we're starting to see that grow now, are engaging consumers on this level. You'll see it all over the place in our marketing, but know that this is an important consideration for consumers out there. May not be every consumer, but there's a lot of them out there that really do care that LAER is standing for something, in this sustainability real estate space. And you can see that there is a lot happening out there. This image that you see is of Massachusetts. It comes from the Green Building Registry, and I'll throw that link, Green Building Registry, at the end of the discussion in there, so that you can see the amount of homes that have significant high performance improvements in them. I use the term high performance quite a bit rather than green because it really speaks to what these homes are. They perform better than the typical home in terms of energy usage, greenhouse gas emissions, a number of things. And you can see that there's a lot of homeowners in our state of Massachusetts that are really engaged with this. It's now over 193,000 because this map I pulled from a couple of months ago. When you get down to the details on this map, you can go down to your individual community. So I live in Melrose. I could put Melrose into the Green Building Registry and find that there are 650 homes in my community. If you really drill down and drill down to the individual links, the individual neighborhoods, you can click on the green button and find the address of the home and the specific improvements that they've made to their home that fit into this high performance category. So it's a really useful tool in a lot of different ways. I'll talk about the use in a little bit. You can see in New Hampshire, Southern New Hampshire has a lot of these listings. And look, Florida has more green homes with significant green building improvements than Massachusetts does. So I find this to be true, even though Florida has a different political will and culture than Massachusetts does. There are still significant amounts of homes with green building improvements. And again, if you drill down to the individual communities and individual homes, you tap on it and you'll see the address in there and you'll see the specific green building improvements that have been made. And these are significant, to get on the Green Building Registry, you have to have done something fairly significant to get on there. Now, there's kind of 50 shades of green on some level, right? So there's a lot of stuff that isn't involved on the Green Building Registry as well. But you can see that there is a significant market here that I think a lot of people just aren't really aware of. So a lot of stuff happening. In Massachusetts, there is a political will to be able to move this ball forward, and you can see it in our new building codes. Melrose is one of the specialized stretch code communities, the community that I live in, and you can see it's getting the HERS score, which is kind of like your golf score, the lower the better. The Holy Grail being a HERS score of 0, which is a net zero energy building. It is part of this, and it's fairly rigorous, right? I mean, to get to a HERS score of 45 for the all-electric home, or a HERS score of 42 for the gas-powered home, the home that's heated with gas or propane or oil, that's a pretty significant improvement in terms of the building code. So there's a lot happening here that you need to be fluent, have some level of fluency on if you're working in new construction, listing new construction homes, because this is now part of the building code in the state of Massachusetts. I try to track everything that's going on in our markets nationally, and I was really thrilled in 2022 that Governor DeSantis vetoed a bill that was coming up through the state legislature that would have really negatively impacted the solar PV residential real estate marketplace in Florida. So I was hugely thankful of Governor DeSantis that he vetoed that update to their net metering bill, which would have been very negative for homeowners in Massachusetts that want to add solar PV to their home and lower their utility costs by being able to take advantage of a good net metering policy, which the state of Florida still does have. One of the things that we've been doing is we spend a lot of time talking about education, and the National Association of Realtors Green Designation is the best way to become, to gain some level of fluency in this sustainability real estate space. The National Association of Realtors Green Designation is a 2-day training. The first day is really focused on building science. So all of the things from building envelope to new technologies like heat pumps, induction cooktops. We talk about the building science behind existing and new construction homes that are making these kinds of improvements so that, again, you have some level of fluency. Now, we talk a lot about knowing the science of building science, but selling the benefits, right? And day 2 is about proper marketing of these homes with these kinds of benefits and valuation of these homes with these kinds of benefits. So if there's a home that has that the homeowner owns the solar PV system, there's a different valuation process. It's not just about comps, but we can use an income approach. And for the remaining life of that system, which qualified appraisers will say is 25 years, so whatever remaining life is left in the system, we can use an income approach or a net present value approach to add value on top of the comps. So maybe you run the comps and it says the home's worth $500K, but there's an additional $25,000 in contributory value for the remaining life of the solar system. So do you list it at 529 or 524, or do you keep it at 499 in a tighter marketplace and know that you have that additional $25,000 in contributory value if you demand a qualified appraiser, which we talk a lot about in the green designation? You'll also notice that in our check request form, we have a section for you to fill out to be able to just check some boxes or fill in on the right-hand box features that are fit into this high performance category. So the features on the left really come from MLS PIN. We have over 100 green data fields in the multiple listing service, the principal multiple listing service in Massachusetts. The center section, the storm protection, comes from the Florida MLS, the Beaches MLS, because obviously down there, homeowners are thinking a lot about making their home more hardened to extreme weather events. So those are green features too, right? It's not only about lowering utility costs or lowering your carbon footprint, but it's also about having a more resilient home. All of those are features that fit into this. As far as I know, we're the only real estate agency in the United States right now that is tracking our sales with high performance features in them. So please pay attention to this when you're filling in your check request form, because we're really trying to track this and show how much from a transactional standpoint LAER is doing in this space, and again establishing leadership in the space. As Stacey said, she originated this, and then through the work with the LAER Sustainability Committee, we worked together with Stacey to give her some feedback on 2 really great presentations. One for buyer's agency and one for listing a home with high performance improvements. So the one on the left, which I think is particularly important these days, as we start to think about what our value proposition is going to be for buyers, and how we're going to be able to get them to sign a buyer agency agreement, is we know buyers are very concerned about climate risk, and so there is a tool, a presentation specifically for that. You can cut these down, you can make them your own, you can, as Stacey said, these are all through Canva. You can do all kinds of things with these, but they're really good base level presentations so that you can see how we talk to consumers about listing high performance homes or helping a buyer buy a home that may not be the greenest on the face of the earth, but we can recognize green features in them and even help them after the time of sale because of some really powerful tax incentives that are out there through the Inflation Reduction Act. This is my home in Melrose, Massachusetts. It's an 1895 Victorian. My wife and I did a significant renovation on this home over the last couple of years. And because of the things that I've learned listing homes from some of the great builders in Greater Boston that are engaged in this, I really wanted to make sure my home, as we did the renovation, was doing the right thing. And this was a significant renovation. We moved the kitchen from one side of the building to the other. We took out one bath, added two more. So we went down to the studs, definitely. Which allowed me to put in a great insulation package in the home. And my wife and I also made the decision to decarbonize our home. So we used to run on natural gas. That is no longer the case. We've switched to heat pumps, to ductless mini splits that do both the heating and cooling. This is a HERS report for the home. HERS score 59, not bad for a 1895 Victorian, but notice this number in the middle here, the annual savings coming from the HERS rater, an independent third party, says that we're saving $3,700 a year. Why is that important? Well, if you demand a qualified appraiser, and what I mean by a qualified appraiser is an appraiser that's gone through the Appraisal Institute's valuation of sustainable buildings program, a very rigorous training for appraisers that specialize in valuing homes with high performance improvements. We can't pick a specific appraiser anymore, as you all know, but we can, as a listing agent, demand a qualified appraiser. And certainly, if I'm hiring a listing agent to sell my home here, I'm going to make sure I'm getting a green designated agent, and we're going to be demanding a qualified appraiser, because a qualified appraiser will take that $3,700 number and, by a net present value calculation, add contributory value to the home. So either we're going to be listing it, recognizing that contributory value, or if it's a soft market, by demanding the qualified appraiser and say I have an additional $25,000 of value, that may save the deal when appraisals start to tighten up in a more balanced marketplace, which we may be moving towards. Who knows? My home is also certified through a company called Pearl Certification, again, an independent third party. They're also a partner with our LAER. When they came into Massachusetts, they entered the Massachusetts marketplace in 2019. It was the same time that I was coming to LAER, and I made sure that LAER partnered with them because they're a great third-party building certification for existing homes, and it's really cost effective. This isn't a certification like LEED, which is very expensive to do. This is much more about existing homes that have done the right thing. Maybe they've gone to Mass Save and they've done some air sealing and insulation work, or they've got a high performing natural gas heating system, or Energy Star rated traditional AC unit. All of these things fit into a framework in which that home might be able to have a third-party certification. And LAER did enough of these certifications over the first couple of years that Pearl Certification sent an appraiser up here to Massachusetts to do an independent review of those home sales. And they found that the homes that had these certifications sold for about 4.5% to 5% more than comped out homes that didn't have this certification. So if you're marketing these homes correctly and valuing them correctly, it really does make a difference to the homeowner. And what an egregious thing it is that listing agents aren't aware of these kinds of tools out there and are leaving money on the table, potential money on the table for sellers that have greened up their home. And as I said, we're getting a lot of focus about this in the industry. We've done a lot of presentations for National Association of Realtors. This one back in 2019. As I said, Stacey and I will be traveling to Minneapolis next month to do another presentation out there for the Sustainability Summit. So a lot of stuff happening here in the industry. Just want to highlight this too, because this is something that's actually moving forward right now at National Association of Realtors. We adhere to a code of ethics, obviously. Our Article 11 of our code of ethics talks about competence, right? The same kind of language that appraisers use, their competence of being able to value a home with significant high performance improvements in it, right? We've got that same kind of language in Article 11. And in the first two standards of practice, look, it says be knowledgeable about the type of property being valued. And I can definitely make a case that homes with high performance improvements, you need to be knowledgeable about those improvements and have access to the information and resources necessary to formulate an accurate opinion. So right now, the Pro Standards Committee of National Association of Realtors, which administers the Code of Ethics, is considering a case interpretation specifically around homes with high performance improvements. And if that appears at the end of the year, there will be a case to be made that if you're a listing agent and you don't have things like an NAR green designation, you're not competent in knowledgeable and competent in this part of the industry, you could go up for an ethics violation. So I definitely think every team, across the United States at this point needs an NAR green designated agent to be able to serve clients that have made these kinds of improvements. You can see the GREB website says the same thing about competency as part of our fiduciary responsibility to our clients. I'll also throw a link in about the Inflation Reduction Act after I finish speaking here. Some great tax incentives that are available for even us as realtors. You have a great year. You hate it when April 15th comes rolling around. But there are great tax incentives through the Inflation Reduction Act to be able to green up your home. And the federal government will give some pretty significant money for you in terms of tax incentives, tax benefits, for you to improve your home. For instance, solar PV, let's say that costs $20,000 to put a system on your rooftop. You purchase the system outright, you can take $6,000, 30% off from what you owe the federal government the next year after you add that improvement to your home. So some pretty powerful tax incentives that are now available that was just passed by this current administration. For NAR, you can see in our strategic plan, we're really moving the ball forward here. The importance of understanding the impact of climate change on our industry. It's pretty significant. I mean, certainly if you're a Florida agent, you can see how much home insurance rates are rising through the roof. There's a lot of reasons for that. Building costs are rising, but certainly one of the reasons for this is the impact of climate change on many states. California, Florida, Louisiana, North Carolina are states that I'm hearing, even on the Cape now, I'm hearing a lot of information about how insurance policies, homeowner insurance policies, are really going through the roof. This is an issue that NAR really is going to have to tackle through our insurance committee. As Stacey said, there's a ton of tools in the LAER sustainability tools section in the guide that we have. Check those out. There's some great scripts. There's appraisal tools, and I am always available, right? I mean, I get probably 2 calls a week now, Stacey, from agents at LAER saying, "Oh my God, help me! I'm listing a home with solar PV. Tell me again what I need to do. How do I do this? How do I do this the right way?" Or I'm representing a buyer and the listing agent knows nothing about the solar PV system on the rooftop. Where do I get the information? How do I find this information? How do I explain the benefits to my buyer? And I will even, in that kind of circumstance, I'd be happy to set up a Zoom meeting with you and your client to go through maybe the home has a power purchase agreement or a sole lease agreement, and the buyer's trying to wonder, what does this mean? How does this work? Should I assume this lease? I am happy to go through those kinds of agreements with you and your buyers out there so that they can understand the benefits, which many times there are, of them assuming this kind of lease. So that's what's happening here at LAER. Stacey, thanks so much for the opportunity to talk about the importance of this intersection of real estate and sustainability with our clients and customers.
All right, awesome stuff. Let us head back to our presentation. Hold on one sec. I'm going to reshare my screen.
Like I said, I'm going to drop a couple things into the chat. I'm dropping in the green building registry right now, so that you can take a look at your community and take a look at uh, how much green building is happening. I think it'll be quite surprising for you. And then I'll
By
throw
the
in,
way, Craig, I
yeah,
think um, it's super interesting. I think another resource that you bring to the table is I think there's a lot of like green energy companies that kind of scam people. I
yeah.
got scammed recently on Facebook because I saw an ad and they made it look like it was the state of Massachusetts, and it looked like an ad and it said you based on where you live, you may be eligible for basically like free solar panels. That's
That the state
how it
will
was.
install it for free, some
Yeah.
BS like that. It's ridiculous.
So then I clicked on it thinking it's the state. It's got the Commonwealth logo on it and stuff. And then it's like a Google form where it asks you some information about your property. I fill it out, and immediately within 5 minutes, I had a solar company calling me. And I realized then, because I thought still, when I filled out the form, I thought I was sending it to the state. And then within like 3 minutes, a solar company started calling me, and they have called me 52 times since then. But now I don't like them. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I wouldn't go through you only because I didn't like the mechanism how they were trying to capture the business. That's all.
Yeah. And there's a lot of door-to-door salesmen that are walking around these days selling
Oh,
solar.
yes.
Be very careful about that too. Competition's good in any business, as we know. I generally speaking send people to energysage.com. I'll put that link in as well. But
Mhm.
that's a great Boston company. They're national in scope. Boston company that if you put in your information into Energy Sage, you'll get 4 or 5 competing offers for solar, and they know they're competing against each other because it came from that website. Competition's good. We're seeing too many examples right now in the solar industry over the last couple of years when interest rates went up. That business, that industry really got hit hard, and it's leading to some bad sales practices out there right now. Not that all
Mm.
solar companies are using those practices, but I've seen way more of it over the last couple of years than I ever have before. And I can
I
help you
was
with all that stuff.
talking, I was talking to an agent this week. I don't know if this is common or not. She was selling a property that had solar panels. And then, so the buyer of the property got approved for their mortgage, but could not get approved for the transfer of the solar panels.
Yeah, so what will happen is there is a FICO score minimum in these solar agreements, leases or power purchase agreements to move forward. That might be 700. So if you're a FHA buyer and you've got a FICO score of
Mm.
650, there can be problems there. Sometimes the solar companies are willing to negotiate that a little bit because we do know that homes with solar, this is Freddie Mac information, homes with solar do default less in the marketplace than homes without solar,
Mm.
potentially because you're lowering the operating cost of the house. But sometimes that can be negotiable, Stacey.
Super interesting. All right, all good, interesting stuff. And by the way, I became a green designated agent last year, and I think that it should be mandatory training for anybody, even if you're not into sustainability or green, because this is the wave of this is where our entire industry is headed. And especially with the focus around representation and stuff like that, we have to be really strong when it comes to understanding the different nuances of energy efficiency and how that affects the value of a property. So highly recommend the green designation. Okay, so we are back at the LAER Agent Services page. I just want to go through a few more pieces of this, and then we've got some additional speakers for you to hear from. Um, So we're at LAER Agent Services. I am under the Agent Growth and Development section. Want to make sure you guys see a few things. Number one, all of our training is under this section. So our monthly boot camp, which you guys are watching now, our monthly sales meeting, which is by Zoom on the second Wednesday of the month, as well as our full training calendar. All of it is under this classes, meeting, and coaching. Also, we have LAER University. So basically, we have two portals where we load hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of training classes. Number one is YouTube. And if you go to youtube.com/LAER training, you should subscribe to that because we do so much content on training. And I promise you, I know that there's a lot of really poor training programs out there in our industry. We take such great care of making sure that when we deliver content and somebody, a good real estate agent, is going to share their time with us, we're going to make sure our training program is on point. So if you go to youtube.com/LAER training, subscribe. That way it'll just send you a little notification every time we add a new training class. As well, we put all of our overload, we have literally probably more than 1,000 training classes. So as soon as we record a class, we put it on YouTube, but also we put all of our overflow training classes at LAER University. I also just want to point out this new agent resource center. If you go down to the bottom, this is wonderful for newer agents. If you're newer to the industry, number one, we have lots of little tutorials on here. So it's under laerrealty.com/transaction blueprint. If you scroll down, there's all these little tutorial videos on how to fill out forms. But also we've made these little help guides. So we have like a real estate agent's guide to home inspections, a real estate agent's guide to lead paint, procure and cause best practices, Connecticut law best practices, Maine law best practices, a guide to real estate agent safety. So for example, for newer agents, if you're new to the business, we have this 51-page booklet that we use in our training classes about understanding the nuances of a home inspection. But what's cool about it is, you learn the nuances of real estate, the houses we sell, from the mechanical systems to the roof to the sewer or septic system to what radon is, to literally it's 51 pages because we give you little pictures and stuff to look out for, because you should know this. As a real estate professional, you're going to be touring a lot of houses and you should be able to know what kind of heat is in the house, or be able to see a red flag of, for example, mold in the house, things like that. So just some little help guides that are really wonderful. Also, under this same section, which is agent growth and development, we have a section called business plan and growth systems. So a couple things I want to point out here. Number one, last year we came out with our Alcorn growth system. There's nothing like it in our industry. This is a 100-page booklet of what to do to get to 30 transactions per year. So one of the challenges in our business is, what do you do every day when you wake up and you don't have a transaction to work on right now? This system is a step-by-step guide to building a successful real estate business, and it gets you to 30 transactions a year if you do the steps. So you can download this. If you're a LAER agent that joined recently, this workbook comes to you as part of your welcome package. So you already have this as part of your welcome box. But also for any agent, you can download the whole workbook. It's 100 pages right here at laerrealty.com/algorwin, ALGOR, because we say there's an algorithm to success in this business. So you use the algorithm to win in your business. That's our Alcorn system. We also have a second, if you prefer more of like a traditional business planning guide, this is a 45-page booklet that's very traditional real estate, like for business planning. It kind of has you map out where you came from, where you're going, goal setting, stuff like that. And then we also created a third version. We call this a simple plan. And it's a worksheet to get you from where you are right now to where you want to be. However, to get to where you want to be usually requires that you become a different version of yourself. So this one has you really doing a lot of work on awareness to figure out like what are your current conditions, where do you wish to be 1 year from now, and then what does the future you look like? Who do you have to become in order to be the person that increases business substantially? So these are just 3 different ways of looking at your business. Number 1 is a system. It is a checklist system of what to do every day to move towards doing 30 transactions. Second one is just the business planning system that's very traditional. And then the third is a different type of business plan where you really focus internally on who you have to become in order to do the type of business you want to be doing. And then down here is just the IPA checklist, income producing activity checklist. This is super helpful. Like when there's nothing to do on a daily basis, head over to here and it'll give you a list of things you could be working on in your business. So that's the income producing activity checklist. And then, so these are all agent growth and development. And then the last button, we do have a partnership with the CE shop for getting CE credits. There's a link to that. Let's see, down here, the agent toolbox. Couple things that I want to point out before we head out of this section. Tech tools. 2 things that agents love in our company is this listing description generator and the agent bio generator. These are AI. So you can also go to ChatGPT and it'll do it for you, but ChatGPT is a little bit clunky for some agents. So if you want us to create your listing description, you just fill out this form. By the way, you can work anywhere. You don't have to be a LAER agent to use this. You basically put in how many paragraphs you want, your email address, the property address, and then you answer some questions. And the system immediately emails you a description to put in the MLS or onto your listing marketing pieces. Always just double check. You should read them just to make sure that you're not making like a fair housing, saying something against fair housing in there, such as like walking distance to a park or something like that. So always read them just to be safe, but our agents absolutely love this. This will save you hours of time in writing descriptions. Same thing with the agent bio generator. One of the things we talk about in our classes is if you Googled you, would you hire you? So that's one of the things you should add to your list of what you're going to go work on to execute. Go Google your name and real estate and just see what comes up. Do you have a professional photo? Do you have a professional bio? Fill that out so that it looks, if you don't have a great bio, go use our bio generator. It'll create one for you, and then you can put it on LinkedIn, in your listing presentations, etc. Let's see, a couple others. A lot of these are tools we use at LAER on a daily basis. We'll go through a couple of these a little bit in the next hour. These are some other really cool tools. Specifically, Xiaomi is an app. Let's just say that you have a buyer that wants to go look at a house on Saturday and you're at a wedding all day. You absolutely can't do it. Xiaomi is an app where you just hire an agent to go show the house for you. They sign away. So agents say, well, I don't want that person to be able to steal my customer. they can't, because they sign, in order to sign up as a Show Me agent, you sign all kinds of documentation, which basically says that you cannot work with any customer beyond the fact that you're getting paid to go look at a property. That is, that you don't have any additional contact with the person. Homebot AI is a cool newsletter service that sends market analysis to a client, anybody you put in their system once a month. Home Value Leads is a CMA lead capture program. And then Exposio app is a cool app. If you don't do professional photography, I feel you should do professional photography, but if you don't, Exposio is a company that you can take your iPhone photos of your listing, upload it to Exposio, and it gets it looking like professional photography. In my opinion, it's still not as good as professional photography, but it is better than iPhone photo of the property. So that's all under the technology tools. You guys got to see we have a huge sustainability section. A lot of the resources that Craig shared with you are here, such as like the Pearl certification, which is the marketing program. You can go head over here and learn more information. The green appraisal addendum that Craig talks about quite often. Consumer guides on sustainability, scripts on climate risk, all kinds of cool stuff. And this grows every month. Craig sends over more information for us to upload to the site. Let's see, I think this is about it. If you go down to the bottom, we do have a brokerage blog that we update regularly. Mostly what you'll find on here is when we send out our top agent reports each month, you'll get an email if you're a LAER agent, just letting you know that our top agent reports, top 25 reports went out. Click on that only because if your name's on the list, we have all kinds of cool social media pieces created automatically for you. So you can just go share to social media. So we are 2 hours, we're more than two thirds complete with the program so far today. And we're on page 7 of our booklet. So we have a lot to cover in the next 1 hour. All of that is just the main first page of our marketing section, which was LAER Agent Services. And as you guys could see, there's just tons of content for you to dig into. Next, I want to invite Sergio on from our marketing department. If you're a LAER agent, we do a great deal of the marketing for you. It's all automated. Our team automatically creates it for you, from your listing sheets to your weekly social media pieces. So I'm going to have Sergio give you a quick demo on that. We can't hear you, Sergio.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so I'm going to share a few things with you from our marketing team. I'm going to go over our listing bundle and our social media program that we have for our agents. Now, these two programs are for LAER agents. You do have to be a LAER agent with us, but some of them you can use, particularly some of our social media stuff. So as a LAER agent, when you have a listing with us, our team gets to work. We create a listing brochure as well as social media pieces that cover the whole transaction. So from just listed all the way to just sold. This is delivered to you as a LAER agent via email. I'll show you in a little bit how that arrives and then how you can use it. This is a really great system. You receive this package, this marketing bundle, within 24 hours of your home going live on the MLS. These are all custom made in Canva by our team. So they're not these automatically generated brochures. The pictures and everything are chosen by us. We make sure that the flow of the pictures makes sense. We even run your description through Grammarly to make sure that there are no spelling mistakes. And we try to deliver the best looking brochures and social media pieces for you that are ready to use, but we also deliver them to you as Canva templates. So you can go in and edit, if you have a future price reduction, you can go in, make those edits yourself, and then print out your brochure. I'll show you how you can do that in a little bit. If you have a nicer home where you went out and got drone photos, professional photography, you can request a 4-page brochure. So this prints out on 11x17 as a tabloid. You do need to order these. We don't create them for every single listing, but if you go to laeragentservices.com, you should be under marketing request. You'll be able to request one of these. Our team will also create this within 24 hours of receiving that request. And of course, this is a really great way of featuring your property, especially if it's a higher end luxury property. So let's go over how you can use that marketing bundle. So when you have that listing, within 24 hours, you'll receive an email that looks just like this. It says, usually the address, your concierge marketing package, and then we give you some links, right? So this email, we have some links. The first 2 links are Canva templates. Like I said, we always try to give almost all of our marketing to you guys as Canva templates, so you're able to have that original design and then you can further customize it. But we also give you ready to use files. So if you click on download bundle, which is this 3rd link, it will open up in Google Drive. You don't need a Google account to use the Google Drive, but it does help. You're able to keep track of all of these. As you see, we have our listing brochure. This is a PDF that's ready to print. You can print directly from here, or you can download as a PDF, and then you can either send this out to print professionally, you can send it out to Staples, or you can print it out at any of our copy machines at LAER, or you can print it out at home. So it's very flexible. And the same with our social media pieces. So we have, again, like I said, covering the whole transaction. So we have a featured listing one, we have a new listing, as well as just sold. So at any point in the transaction, you're able to come into this folder, pick out the post that you need, and then have it ready to post out when you're ready. Like I said, these are ready to use. So for example, we have this featured listing. We click on these 3 dots and click download. It will download to your computer. Now you can open up this drive on your phone as well. So if you have your phone, you can just click on the link to open this up. You can download the image to your phone and then post on social media directly with your phone. Posting on social media is fairly easy. Again, the image is ready to go. So this is just a mock-up Facebook page here. We just click on photo and video. We'll add it. We have our featured listing photo here. Now you want to add a nice description, of course. You can either post directly. There is a feature of Facebook where you can schedule out your posts. So if you want to schedule out for a certain date and time, you're free to do so. But you can just post, and just like that, you're able to very quickly post your image. You can do this on your phone as well. You don't have to do it on the desktop. And let's go back to the email itself, because I want to show you the Canva templates. So this download bundle button just leads you to the direct use images. They're ready to use. But if you need to make any changes, if you want to change out a logo, some pictures, we have these 2 links. One of them is for the brochure. This opens up in Canva. I'm already signed into my Canva account. So as long as you're signed into Canva, either the free version or the premium version, it will open up as a design. So this design is a live design, so I'm going to make a copy so I can show you how easy it is to make changes. So if further down the line you do have a price change, you can very quickly just change the price by double clicking. Let's say it went down to $385, and just like that, it's ready to download. So to download the actual brochure, we click on share. There's a download button, and then we want to download this as a PDF print. And just like that, I have a new PDF that I can go send out to print or print out on my computer. To change the photos, I can go to uploads. I'll upload some sample pictures that I have here on my computer. Once I have uploaded my images, it's very easy. It's just drag and drop. So these picture frames accept a new photo whenever you hover a photo over it. So if I just click on a photo, it will show up in the center of my screen, but then I can click and drag and drop it to where I need it to go. I can also drag from the tray itself. So for example, I want this picture of the living room with the chimney to be the center picture here. I can just drag and drag it over to where I want it to go. Now you'll notice that when I drag it, it might snap into one of these other frames. As long as I don't let go of the mouse button, I can drag it to where I want it to go, and then it will be fixed to the frame. Now, if for example, if you accidentally drop it here, there is an undo button, or you can press Control or Command Z to undo. If at any point you need help with this, you can always email back. So if we go back to the original email, this email will come from happyagents@laerrealty.com, which is our support email. So if you just reply back to this, and if you have an issue with one of these, if you want to change over your picture, anything like that, you can just reply back and ask what you need to ask, and our team will help you out. We have some other resources down here. This is the link to order that 4-page brochure. So again, when you list your home within 24 hours, you'll receive this email. And if you feel you're not getting this email, if you don't see it within those 24 hours, please let us know. Just email us at happyagents@laerrealty.com. We can make sure it gets out to you. So the middle button too is for your social media pieces. Now, with this social media, we also include 2 other pieces that we don't include in that folder just because we don't have that information yet. So if you have an upcoming open house and you want to put in the exact date and time, we have a design here where you can put in the date and time. You can make a copy to make multiple ones. If you have one for Saturday, one for Sunday. And then we have another piece that is a price change or a new price, where if you do have a price change down the line, you're able to use this piece and then download it. For these are just PNG images, which you can download. Or you can use one of the features that Canva has where you can share directly to your social media account. So if you click on share on social, you're able to pick one of these accounts. They're fairly straightforward to use. You can click on one of these. When you click on this the first time, for example, for this account, it will ask you to connect to one of the pages. Once you go through that process, you only have to do it once. You'll be able to then schedule out your post on your social media accounts, and you can add your Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, etc. So like I mentioned before, if you feel you're not getting this, let us know. We can make sure that it's getting out to you. So another thing I wanted to go over with you was this our social media assistant. So Stacey kind of touched on this earlier. We have a program which is the social media assistant, where we send out your social media for the whole week. So this includes 7 to 10 weekly social media posts, Canva templates, and as well as ready to use JPEGs and video. These are sent to you via text message and email every Monday morning. We are also including suggested captions and hashtags, and I'll show you in a little bit what that looks like. So these posts include different real estate related posts, their social media posts, as well as Facebook and Instagram stories. We also include some holidays. And like I mentioned before, we do include suggested captions and hashtags. So if you feel like you're stuck, you don't know what to say, we can give you a great starting point, which then you can go in and customize. So when you receive it via email and text, with the email, you'll receive a message that looks like this: your social media marketing for the week. Like I mentioned before, we have these images that are ready to use. So at the start of the month, we try to include Facebook covers for both New England and Florida. These are ready to use. So all you need to do is click on download, and then this will download to your computer. And then if you do want to customize it even further, if you want to change out the photo, the logo, you can click on edit in Canva, and this will open up a new template for you. And this template is your own template, right? So you can do whatever you want with it. If, for example, you lose it or you need to find it again, you can always go back to this email, and this will open up a new template that you can use that's just a fresh copy of the social media piece. Like I mentioned before, we had these suggested captions. These you can just copy and paste by highlighting. On your phone, we have a different site that you can use that has a copy and paste button, so you don't have to try to highlight the whole thing. For the desktop and for the email, this is what we have. And here are our ready to use images. Again, downloading them is very easy. Now, for some of these are ready to use just as photos, but if you click on edit in Canva, we do have animated posts. So you can download this as a video. So it would play kind of like this. You can download this as an MP4 video. And especially if you have the Canva app on your phone, you're able to download that video to your phone and then post. You can also just post the image as is. So posting is very easy. We can go back to our Facebook page here. So we want to create a new photo post. And then I'm going to grab that suggested caption. I'll grab the whole thing. And then we can paste. Like I mentioned before, you can customize this to fit your local market. There's a section here where you can add your contact information. I'm going to remove this part, and then I'll keep everything else. You're able to add or remove to it. It's just a great starting point. And then when you are ready to post, you can either hit post or hit the schedule post. Let's say I want this to go out on Sunday, and then you can specify a time, Sunday at 11 a.m. and click schedule. Now, when you schedule out a post on Facebook, you won't see it appear on your feed right away. You'll notice that it's not here, but on the side, you'll see the scheduled post section, and then you can preview what that looks like. You have the option to reschedule the post or to post now. You can also do this on Canva. So we have this top tips post here. We can click on share and then share on social media and then post directly to Canva from Canva. Canva also has another feature that's just for Canva Premium. That is the social media scheduler. So let me switch over to my Canva Premium account, and then we can grab a link to one of these social media posts. There we go. Now, once you have the post ready, once you have made all the changes, like for example, if you went ahead and changed the logo. Oh, sometimes if you want to change the photo, you might not be able to reach it because it's just in a layer underneath. So one tip I do have is that if you click on anywhere on this post, you will always see this position button. If you click on position, it will give you an overview of all of the layers, right? So for example, we have this photo. I can move this all the way to the top where I can edit it. But if you ever see anything that's overlapping or needs to be on top, yeah.
How'd you do that?
So if you click on, anywhere you are on the post, so you can be click on here or just click on nothing, there is a position button. Click on position, and it gives you the full layers. So that way, for example, if this is just in the wrong layer or if something is overlapping, you're able to just drag and drop and put it wherever you need it to go.
That's cool. I never knew that was there.
Yep. They're always adding features. I don't think this was there before. I think before you had to right click and then click on layer and then bring forward and backward. But you can also right click and then click on show layers, and it will take you to the same place.
Cool.
Yeah, so once you're done, we can go to our scheduler. So if we go back to our main our main desktop page here, or dashboard for Canva, if you click on apps, and this is for the premium account, you'll see the app called Content Planner. So this brings out a calendar, which you can use to plan out your content. Now, Canva itself, because it's a general design platform, it's not just social media, it will display different holidays for, they're just general holidays. So Mother's Day is coming up. When you click on this, it will actually show you different templates that you can use. These are not branded for LAER, but because they're Canva templates, you can easily drag and drop the LAER logo and use them. But you can also schedule out a post from one of your designs. So if I want this post to go out on Monday, it'll show you your most recent design. So here's our top tips. And then I did connect our channel here for Twitter. And then I can just grab my suggested caption. It is Twitter, so I'm not going to add the full thing just because there is a character limit. And then when I'm ready to schedule, I can define the time by clicking on these three dots, click on change date and time. That time is fine for me. And then I can click schedule. So when you do this, you do need to make sure that you let it create the content and schedule it. If you click out of this page, it might not fully schedule it. That's what I've found. So particularly when it's a video, it'll take a little bit of time for it to render through and then add that post. But once it's ready, you will have this scheduled out, and you can do this with all of the social media that we give you. So again, we give you 7 to 10 social media posts that cover the whole week. So you're able to add these posts to the whole week, get it all done on Monday morning, and then you're all set. You're able to go in here if you do need to make any changes. You can save it back as a draft. You can cancel things, you can add things. And again, look out for that email, both the email and text message on Monday morning. If you are not getting it, let us know, LAER Happy Agent. This email too also comes from happyagents@laerrealty.com. So if you do have any questions, you can just reply back to this. And that covers our 2 of our programs that we have here for our LAER agents.
All right, awesome stuff. Thank you, Sergio. So we only have about a half an hour left, and we still haven't moved out of the marketing section of the LAER program and services guide. So we have lots of stuff we still need to cover. Let me just go back to our guide. Let me reshare. So while I am pulling up our LAER program guide again, I just want to quickly make a 3-minute pitch. We purposely make these training programs so that you get a ton of content, regardless of whether you're a LAER agent or not. That being said, oftentimes a large percentage of the agents that take our monthly program are agents from outside brokerages. If you're watching today's program and you like everything that you see and you're interested in learning more about LAER, we are very interested in speaking with you. Even if there's no LAER office in your marketplace. So we have about 40 offices all throughout Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Florida. We're expanding rapidly. If you're interested in learning more about LAER, you can email happyagent@laerrealty.com, and that will come into me. And my name's Stacey Alcorn. I'm the CEO and founder of LAER. I'll set up a one-on-one call just to go over all the different options, whether you're interested as an individual agent. We also have some really cool partner office programs. Some of the most successful real estate LAER offices are large teams that have grown and created their own LAER office. So we have a partner office model. And then also, if you own an existing real estate brokerage and you're interested in an acquisition and staying on in another capacity, we have options for that as well. So email happyagent@laerrealty.com. And I would love to have a conversation with you about what your career goals and see if it's something that we could continue to grow together. So we're back at the LAER program and services guide. And we're still in the marketing section. You just got to see everything that we automate on behalf of our agents. We also, if you're a LAER agent, we do automatically 7 days of boosted advertising on every new listing. When the leads come in, they go directly to the agent. So I always say the big reason why we do the 7-day boosted program was originally we wanted leads, buyer leads. And while we do get buyer leads, 10 to 20 interested buyer leads come in per listing, they're very cold. So really the bigger value with this product is that you could include it in your listing presentation and talk about the extra steps you take to expose the listing to the marketplace. And again, all of this is automated. Our agents don't think about it. We just do it automatically for them. You got to see the Done For You weekly social media assistant. We create all of the social media pieces for our agents. I do like to also point out, if you're a LAER agent and you're using Cloud CMA, you want to make sure you're using the LAER branded version. We have the premium version of Cloud CMA where our team has gone in and customized everything. So you get a beautiful report. Plus, we've included all the additional marketing pieces like our expired listing packages in there and other like our LAER brochure. So we want to make sure you're not using the free version that comes with MLS. So if you're a LAER agent, you're using the free version, shoot an email over to Happy Agent so we can make sure to show you how to get set up into the LAER version of that. We also have our 2 magazines. We have LAER Luxury Selling Guide and At Home Magazine. In fact, At Home Magazine, we have the newest version is about to come out, and this is our professionally printed magazine. And this feature, the one that's coming out, is very much features why buyers should have a buyer agent. And secondly, why sellers should offer cooperation or cooperating commission to buyer agents. So Just a nice print piece to include in all of your listing and buyer packages. All right, we finally made it on to the second section of the LAER Program and Services Guide. So as I mentioned, the guide is divided into 4 sections. The first section is all marketing, because typically that's where agents want to spend a great deal of time, like getting all their marketing pieces, their branding pieces, their listing presentations, buyer presentations, pre-listing packages. That's why we spend so much time in that area. However, let's move over and talk about some technology really quick. First of all, when you join LAER, we give you a lot of complimentary technology. So dot loop, app files for transaction management, showing time, complimentary, Cloud CMA, Boost by HomeSpotter, which is the paid advertising, as well as G Suite. So those are all your complimentary tools. One of the things agents ask when they join the brokerage is, are there any other fees associated, like any monthly fees associated with being with the firm? At LAER, the answer is maybe. We have an optional $39 a month tech bundle. So for $39 a month, you get 3 products that come with that bundle. One is Isact, which is a CRM system. Number 2 is Boston Logic, which is an agent website. And number 3 is Real Scout. So you get all 3 for $39 a month. By the way, all 3 are great products. And even if you're not a LAER agent, you can go buy any of those for $39 on your own. So we get all 3 for $39 only because we're a larger company and we get pricing discounts. But I feel that even as an individual agent, if you're at another brokerage, just going out and buying, for example, Isact for $39 a month, it's worth the $39. So Isact is a set it and forget it marketing system. We said before that anytime you can find a set it and forget it system, you got to raise your hand and say yes. It's the only way to scale your business. So at LAER, we have lots of agents that do $2 or $3 million a year in business, but we also have agents doing 50, 60, 70, $100 million in business. The difference between the two is that the ones that are doing $50 million in business have found ways to scale and leverage their time. Isact is one of the ways, one of those set it and forget it systems. So basically what it is, you put people into, you just become a collector of names and email addresses, you stick them into your database, and the system creates a newsletter for you and sends it out. At a very basic level, that's what it does. Isact does not have a lot of bells and whistles, which is why we get good agent adoption. People use it because it's very, very simple. It does not have lots of bells and whistles. It also does email drip campaigns for first-time homebuyers. It sends out birthday emails anytime a client's birthday is in the system. It'll send them an email on their birthday, and it will also send them a home anniversary email on the anniversary each year. Boston Logic is an agent website. So part of the $39 a month, you'll get a beautiful website. And I always say it's nice to have a pretty website. However, it's not 20 years ago, you really had to have a beautiful website. We give you a very beautiful website as part of $39 a month, but this is not a huge business asset. It's kind of like having a business card. So you have to have a nice website, but the real value of the $39 a month product is Real Scout. Real Scout is the way that you conquer Zillow. We said earlier, you have to be having a conversation about Zillow every time you meet a buyer and seller. You have to talk to your buyers about why they should not be doing a home search on Zillow. But then you have to give them a product that's as good as Zillow, if not better. And that's where Real Scout comes in. So of all the 3 products that our agents get as part of the $39 a month, we tell our agents the first place you should be spending your time is on Real Scout. The second place you should be spending your time is getting people into your Set It and Forget It Isaac drip campaign. And then the last place you should be spending your time is on the website, only because we see a lot of agents that just like spend countless hours tweaking a website that really not a lot of people are going to see. Way more people are going to see the newsletter because it's an email system, and the Real Scout system because that's your lead nurturing program. Less people are going to see the actual website. Doesn't mean it shouldn't be pretty. Of course, it should be beautiful, but don't spend a lot of time there. So I'm going to have Ashley come on and just do a really quick presentation. Ashley will have to go super fast because we only have maybe 5 or 6 minutes. If you could give agents just a quick rundown of the top things that Real Scout can do for their business.
Yes. Hi, Stacey. I can do that. And I'm just going to put a link in here for any LAER agent, since I am going to do this a little quicker than we usually do. So if you are a LAER agent and you do have the tech bundle and you do want to do a call, a one-on-one call with me, go ahead and fill out the laerrealty.com/briefings form. That'll go into Happy Agent. And then once you fill out that form with a couple of times that you're able to do a one-on-one with me, it's a 30-minute call, then I will reach out and we can get something scheduled. So I just did want to put that out there for all of the LAER agents. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And so as Stacey said, this is just a quick presentation of the top 10 steps to get your Real Scout started. So the first one is the app. Did I freeze? I feel like I keep freezing.
Oh, I can hear you.
Okay, so the first thing is the app. So there are 2 different versions of the app. So the agent version of the app is going to have the pro across the top over here. The client version or consumer version of it is not going to have the pro label over here. Do keep in mind that depending upon your operating system, whether it's Android or iOS, these logos may be slightly different. The next thing is, once you log into your Real Scout platform, each agent has a unique sign up link. So the way that you can find this sign up link is when you go into your Real Scout, you would want to click on Market My Real Scout platform, which is right here. So on the top of your dashboard, it's the 3rd button over. And then once you click on Market My Real Scout platform, it's going to open a tab below and it's going to give you a link. So this is the link right here that you would want to copy, and you could put it in your email signature or on Facebook or social media or any of the social media posts that LAER sends out. And you can capture clients that way, or they can get like a quick valuation of their home. So you can use it that way. Real Scout does offer 3 different alerts for your clients. So the first one is the listing alert, which would be setting them up on a search like an MLS. However, with Real Scout, if you have somebody who's looking for a particular school district, but they want to be in, let's say, Drake, but they want to go to like a specific school in Drake, you can type in that specific elementary school or that specific middle school that they want to be at, but they can still be in the town of Drake, which you cannot do in MLS. So that's some of the search features that Real Scout has. A market activity alert, which I will get into a little further down here. A home value alert, which is just an estimate of what your home could be worth. And then your data feed. So this is where you would pull the listings from. So for me, in this example, it just does cross MLS because I have my Massachusetts and my New Hampshire license associated with my Real Scout account. You can see right here, once I click the drop down, it's going to have me select which state I want to set up a search for. But if you just have one state associated with your real estate account, So if you just have your Massachusetts license and MLS PIN, it's just going to say MLS PIN, and it's not going to give you the data feed that I have here. That's only if you have a license in multiple states that's connected. The next thing is to add a client. You can just go through. Again, you would need a valid email. I always put their first and last name in and then click create client. And once you click create client, it's going to allow you to set up a search for them, or you can invite them and they can set up a search on their own. So if you do set up a search for them, it's going to be your basic search fields. How many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, the price, the town. Again, this is where you would put in if they wanted to go to a specific school district. And then once you get everything criteria-wise established, you want to go up here to the top where it says save. You're going to select a client. The search name, you can rename it. And then the alert schedule, I always put it as ASAP. They have a couple different ones. And ASAP means that anytime a property is listed or changes or price reduces, it's going to alert your clients, and you can get a copy of that same email that your clients see as well. There's different ways that you can search. So instead of doing by a town, you can search by an outline. If your clients are looking in more than one town, you want a specific area, you can draw a polygon, you can draw a rectangle. And then let's say you have somebody who wants to be in Dracut, but they only want to be 5 miles from where they work in Tingsboro. You could go ahead and do a radius map like that as well for the search criteria. Again, the school district information, or if you have somebody who wants to be in a particular subdivision or condo association, you can search by that as well. The next thing is there is a quick way that you can go ahead and update your clients. So anytime you have a contact in here and the client says, hey, I want to adjust my price, I want to adjust my towns, you would just go into your contact manager over on the left. You would select the contact, and then there is an edit button. You would just go in, click edit, edit filters, and then filter whatever criteria they wanted you to filter. Again, you would have to save that as well to that specific client. You are changing the initial search. Real Scout also does offer auto nurture for clients. And what auto nurture is if there's not a lot of inventory or a lot of data out there for them, Real Scout is going to pull data and it's going to send them emails with relevant real estate market updates, relevant listings, stuff like that for specific areas that they are looking in. So even if they're not getting emails every day, about listings, they are still getting emails from Real Scout, and you are still being top of mind because you do have them on that auto nurture feature, which is something they rolled out, I think last year, towards the end of last year, they rolled that feature out. Love it. It's a great feature. And then you can also have a monthly market activity report that shows how saturated the market was in a specific market, not only for buyers. You can use this for buyers, but I also use this when I'm writing an offer for a buyer. So if I see how saturated the area is that a house is in, and if it's a top viewed listing, I'm going to use this information to change how we write our offer. If I go on a listing appointment, I use this as well as a strategy, and I say, hey, Mr. Seller, Mrs. Seller, this is how many buyers have been in your area within the last 90 days, 30 days, 60 days. And comparable homes to yours have been the top viewed property. So this is why we can justify the price that I'm proposing to list your house at. So I do use that not only for my buyers, but I do use it on the flip side when I go and speak with potential sellers as well at listing appointments. Again, this just shows some more information that is in that monthly report. And then again, just using it when you do go on listing appointments. So you can show them how many buyers were in the area, the number of buyer interactions. Again, just reverse your dialogue. So instead of using it towards buyers, just switch it up and use it towards your sellers. And then the last thing is why Real Scout's better than Zillow or Realtor.com. And because Real Scout doesn't sell your stuff. They're not in the business of collecting your email and selling it and sending it to multiple people. And then you get 50 calls from all these different agents that you have no idea who they are. This is coming from the agent that you're working with directly. it also has a mobile app that's very friendly to use. If you have Boomtown or some other CRM, I know Real Scout does have some integrations with some of those CRMs that you can use. And then it's more interactive between the client and the agent. So a client can say, hey, I like this property, and okay, great. They can also say they like this feature, they don't like this feature, or they like this amenity, they don't like that amenity. Whereas in MLS, you can just see, okay, they like this property, they didn't like this property, but why? Right? You get all of that data within Real Scout. So Real Scout is a very interactive system between both the client and their agent, as well as the other agent on the other side as well. So that's a little bit about Real Scout in a nutshell.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Ashley.
You're welcome.
All right, we have, let's see, we have 5 minutes left. So that was like an overview of Real Scout. Cannot stress enough, it is a Zillow search experience without Zillow. And so it's one of those tools that should be an important part of your business. Okay, next section of, this is the third section of the LAER Program and Services Guide. The cool thing is we've already been over this because a lot of these links take you over to the LAER Agent Services section. So you guys got to see our algorithm system. This is what we use to get agents to 30 transactions a year. It is the checklist manifesto. It is what you need to be working on every single day to move you towards your 30 transactions a year. LAER University, this is our online university where we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of training classes because we do new classes every single week. Everything goes to YouTube, and then our overflow training goes over to LAER University. I showed you guys like our transaction blueprint section, laerrealty.com/transaction blueprint. And that was where you had like that 50-page booklet on the mechanicals of a house, best practices for the states we do business in, best practices for procuring cause. One thing I'm very proud of is each year we do, in addition to all of the webinar training we do, we also do a lot of live events and conferences and expos. So each year we bring in speakers and trainers throughout the year. Last year we brought Tom Ferry, both to our Florida agents and to our New England agents for a live event. Every year we do our awards program. We just did our live award program for last year's numbers in Florida. And then in a couple of weeks, we're doing a boat cruise in Boston for our New England agents. But in general, because of the size of our company, about 800 agents, there's always cool stuff happening at LAER. Mastermind groups, networking events, birthday luncheons, you name it. The cool thing about participating is being around other successful real estate agents elevates your game. Also want to point out for LAER agents, if you are doing less than $5 million a year in sales and you want to be doing more, we have a phenomenal coaching program. We don't charge for it either. So highly recommend that you sign up. You can go to laerrealty.com/LAER coaching and sign up. We pair you up at small group coaching sessions, and we pay our higher performing agents to coach the agents that are doing less than $5 million a year in business. When you sign up for the program, we send you our 250-page coaching manual. We assign you to a coaching group, and then twice a month, you have a coaching call with your coach who makes sure you're staying accountable to your checklist, which is that 250-page coaching manual. Last section of this booklet is just the LAER agent support services. One of the reasons we've been able to really scale the company and grow is because we make sure that when agents need help, they can get the help they need. So anytime our agents need anything, our staff is available 7 days a week. Just email happyagent@laerrealty.com. That goes into our support center for real estate agents. Your request then gets assigned to whichever staff member is best suited to answer your question quickly and knowledgeably. Our staff is all specifically trained. So if you send in and you have a question about a legal issue, you're going to probably get assigned to one of our attorneys for the state that your legal issue is in. If it's a marketing question, you're going to get assigned to the marketing team. If it's a bookkeeping question, you're going to get assigned to the bookkeeping team. But the LAER Agent Services system keeps us super highly accountable so that we can make sure our staff is responding quickly and giving really good feedback when agents need help. We also have all kinds of really cool tech for just getting you guys paid quickly. Deposit Link and Earnest are two tools we use for collecting escrow deposits, so you don't have to have people drive checks to you. We'll take checks, by the way, if you like doing it the old way, but why not just send a link to somebody and say, here, fill in the link and we'll collect your escrow deposit. We use eCheck for everything. eCheck we've been using for now 6 years, and it's a game changer. When you have a closing, we just email checks to everybody. So much better than having to drive somewhere and pick up a check. This page on our LAER program guide is just a section for agents that need leads. This page, these are all live links, by the way. So when you're on this page, all the links on the left-hand side are referral fee-based lead platforms. And all the links on the right-hand side are subscription-based lead platforms. Not a huge fan of subscription-based lead platforms because it can get very expensive very fast. But we do kind of like these referral fee-based lead platforms. So I say go sign up for all of them. You do pay a very hefty referral fee, but the beauty is you're only paying if you convert it. So we talk a lot about these lead platforms within our training classes, because it's a great way to build your community and your sphere of influence and be marketing to those leads that come in, so that, yeah, you do have to pay a referral fee if this person buys a house, but you don't pay a referral fee if you get their brother, their mother, their next door neighbor, their best friend to buy or sell a house. We do also have, for those agents who despise paperwork and don't want to handle paperwork, we have a phenomenal transaction coordinating team that can assist with transaction coordinating services. And then I like to always say, if you're a LAER agent, you like to have a voice in the tools, the training and technology available at our company, sign up for one of our committees at laerrealty.com/committees. Everything cool we have in our company is a byproduct of what agents are asking for. So if you want to be able to help shape what the company looks like, I said at the beginning today that the company changes constantly because we're adding and changing and upgrading. And that is because we have a mechanism for listening to what agents want or need in their businesses to succeed. If you want to be one of the voices that shapes our company, go to laerrealty.com/committees and sign up. You guys got to hear from our Chief Sustainability Officer, Craig Foley, today about all the stuff on the sustainability front. Encourage you to dig into the classes and the resources on that end. And then I also like to make a pitch for the Realtor organization before we end today. We are a Realtor organization. We support the National Association of Realtors. I feel that one of the reasons we even have a career, unlike other companies or other industries such as travel agents, is because we have this huge mechanism, this lobbying arm of our association that not only protects our business, but also protects the rights of home buyers and home sellers. So we are proudly a Realtor organization. And I always say, of course, you want to get the biggest bang for your buck out of any money that you outlay. So I always say the best way to get a return on your membership is either get out and meet other agents and get referral fees from all around the country, or dig into some of the resources at National Association of Realtors, dig into the classes, dig into RPR, which I think is a phenomenal valuation tool. When you dig in and use the resources, then that expense really becomes an investment into your own career. Thank you for joining us for today on the boot camp. This final page is just a list of all of the office locations. By the way, we try to make it super easy for you to use any of our offices if you're a LAER agent. So if you're a LAER agent and you're doing business in a marketplace where there's a LAER office and you want to meet a customer there, you can go to laerrealty.com/office access. The link is way down at the bottom here. You fill out the form and the system will email you the information for getting into that office. So that is it. Thank you. Many of you probably have never sat on a Zoom program for 3 hours. I get it. It's a lot of information. Most importantly, what I want to leave you with is go work on the 5 things. Go execute on 5 things. You did an amazing thing for your business today by spending 3 hours with us, but now we want to get you a return on that time. And the way you get the return is going and executing. So find the 5 things that you're going to go execute on in your business. And once again, if you're not a LAER agent and you're interested in learning more about the tools, training, technology, our agent services, our partnership platforms, just shoot an email to happyagent@laerrealty.com. And I look forward to having a conversation with you. And of course, I want to thank Craig and Sergio for always contributing great content to help us pull off another great boot camp. Thank you, everyone, and have a great weekend.